Some wedding DJs are making $300 a night, while other DJs are making $3,000, $5,000, and even over $10,000 for a single wedding. So how much do wedding DJs actually make? And more importantly, what separates the DJs barely surviving from the DJs building real six-figure businesses? Because a lot of people think wedding DJs just show up, press play, and leave with easy money, but the reality is way different. So in this video, I'm breaking down beginner DJ pricing, professional DJ pricing, luxury wedding DJs, where the real money comes from, and the truths that no one talks about in the wedding industry. So let's get to it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you're trying to become a better wedding DJ, grow your business, make more money, and learn the real side of the industry, make sure you subscribe. Let's start with beginner DJs. Most beginner wedding DJs usually charge somewhere between $300 to maybe $800 for a wedding, depending on their market. And honestly, a lot of beginners undercharge really badly. Like, they're just excited to get bookings. They don't have the confidence yet. They don't know how to sell, and sometimes they're competing with DJs that charge almost nothing. So a lot of new DJs think like, hey, if I charge cheap, I'll get more bookings, but cheap prices usually attract difficult clients, low budgets, and people who don't really value entertainment. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody starts somewhere, but most DJs aren't charging premium prices in year one. But the issue is that a lot of DJs, they get stuck there because they never learn branding, they never learn sales, they never learn crowd control, professionalism, or a client experience. And here's the truth. Being a good mixer doesn't automatically make you a successful wedding DJ. Now, once DJs gain experience, build reviews, improve their presentation, and actually learn how to run weddings professionally, that's usually where you start seeing prices jump into the $1,500 to $3,000 range. And this is where people outside the industry start saying, wait, DJs make that much for one night? But here's what people don't see. Wedding DJs are not just getting paid for 5 hours of music or 6 hours of music. You're getting paid for planning meetings, timeline creation, music prep, setup, breakdown, travel, crowd management, MC work, coordination with vendors, backup gear, years of experience, and handling pressure in real time. Nobody really talks about that. We can talk about that in a different video. But just like this, if a club DJ messes up, most people forget by the next weekend. But if a wedding DJ messes up, that's somebody's messed up once in a lifetime memory. So it's a huge difference. And honestly, a great wedding DJ is part entertainer, part coordinator, part MC, and part crowd psychologist. Now let's talk about the DJs making serious money, right? These are usually luxury wedding DJs, destination wedding DJs, multi-op corporations or companies, celebrities, private event DJs, or DJs that just have premium branding. And these DJs might charge somewhere between $5,000 or $8,000, sometimes $10,000 for a single wedding package. Now, before people in the comments lose their minds, you have to understand at that level, they're usually not just providing DJ service, they're selling an experience. And that might include, up lighting, intelligent lighting, cold sparks, CO2 cannons, dancing on the clouds, photo booths, live musicians, custom edits, content creation, multiple staff members. Might have 2 or 3 people, one person MCing, one person DJing, someone there to help with setup, breakdown, moving equipment, luxury presentation, and there's basically full event production. So some of these weddings have bigger budgets than people's annual salaries. Like, some people are willing to spend that much on one event, not just on the DJ, but like someone's annual salary on a whole wedding, right? And once you enter luxury markets, people stop buying based on price alone. They're buying based on trust, professionalism, reputation, branding, and experience. Now, here's the reality that nobody really talks about, and I'm just going to be real with you. This industry is not easy money, right? People see the event, they see the packed dance floor, they see the Instagram clips, but they don't see the late nights, the loading heavy gear, driving home exhausted, stressful timelines, difficult gas, equipment failures. There's a slow season, last minute changes, and the pressure of doing this in real time, like you're performing live. So they don't really see the business expenses, right? There's also like a lot of fees that come with running a business, let alone being a DJ, because as a DJ, you're going to need speakers, you're going to need DJ controllers, laptops, backups, microphones, lighting, insurance, the list goes on. Like, most venues won't even work with you if you don't have your own insurance. People always ask me, where do you get music from? You're going to need access to music pools, right? You're going to need to run ads and pay for some advertisements so people are aware of your business and knows that it even exists. You're going to have a website, buy a domain. There's hosting fees that come with that. You're going to need vehicles that can actually move, that can transport your equipment, whether it's, a personal vehicle, a cargo vehicle, a vehicle dedicated to the business. Either way, like, you're going to need one. You're going to need baby assistance, and you're definitely going to need different types of software. One of them being Serato, which I use every single gig, right? And then last but not least, you can't forget the taxes, right? There's taxes coming out of it. So what you see at face value isn't what that person's taking home. You have to deduct all the expenses that it takes to operate a business just as a whole and on an event by event basis. So yes, some wedding DJs make really good money, but the DJs making the most money usually treat this like a real business, not just a hobby. So what usually separates the DJs charging $500 from the DJs charging $5,000 is usually not just talent. It's things like confidence, your branding, your communication, your presentation, your consistency, like your ability to read crowds, your professionalism, your networking, and how well can you sell? You have to sell yourself, and people buy from people. So some DJs are amazing technically, but they're terrible with people, and weddings are people. You could be the greatest mixer on earth, but if you can't create a room or control a room, communicate with clients, or create moments, you're gonna struggle in this industry for sure. So how much do wedding DJs actually make? The answer is it depends, right? It depends on the market. It depends on the experience of the person. It depends on your branding. It depends on your professionalism and how well you seriously treat the business. Like, can you really sell yourself and treat this like a business and not as a hobby? Some DJs, they start part-time and they stay part-time forever, just making extra money on the weekends. There's nothing wrong with that. Other DJs will turn this into a full-time 6-figure business. And one thing I can tell you for sure is that wedding DJing is way more than just pressing play. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping more real wedding DJ business content, talking about crowd psychology, marketing, gear reviews, and some behind the scenes advice for DJs trying to level up. And do me one favor, comment, what do you think the DJs charge in your area? I'm curious to see the differences in markets. So until next time, I'll see you. Peace.